Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will be talking about the curriculum that I have chosen to homeschool my boys with in the fall. Now I have never homeschooled before, obviously, and I never had anyone in my family homeschool, but I am excited and nervous to start this adventure because those of you who don't know me personally, you won't know that I'm kind of a perfectionist. So if I feel like I'm not doing something perfectly, for lack of a better term, I have a lot of self-doubts and a lot of anxiety regarding it because I just hold myself to ridiculously high standards that no one has set but myself. So it's a mental thing, guys. I just wanted to go over what I chose for them. And I say curriculum, but it's a very loose term because when you have kids as young as mine, you don't really have like a full-on structured program for them with in-depth curriculum and stuff like that. It's just going to be very simple, very basic. At their age, homeschool is going to be a lot of playtime and a lot of reading. We'll have a lot of read aloud times. We are going to get library cards. We can rent books for the week to go with whatever we want to talk about, that kind of thing. So it's gonna be very minimal. My oldest especially, he likes learning things. He asks a lot of questions. He likes to know about everything and why it is the way it is and how does it do this and why does it do this, and you know, he's a very typical curious 4-year-old. So like I said, curriculum is a very loose term, but I just want to show you guys the things that I have for them. We'll start with my 2.5-year-old because he obviously doesn't have any like real curriculum. It's just more he sees his brother doing stuff, so he wants to do stuff. So I got him these pre-K I can count and I can print books. So they're dry erase, which is nice because he can keep reusing them, but it's very, very basic, like nothing extravagant at all for him. And I got them as dry erase because then he could just erase them and use them the next day. And then same thing with numbers. It's just basic things for him, just so he can feel like he's doing homework as well alongside of his brother. So that's for my 2.5-year-old. And then so for my 4-year-old, I decided I'm going to do just a few subjects with him. But the main thing that I want to make sure that both of my sons are multilingual. So their father is Middle Eastern and he does speak, read, and write Arabic. So he wants the boys as well to learn how to read, speak, and write Arabic. They do know like a few things here and there, but nothing in depth. And same thing with me. I'm Puerto Rican, so I want to make sure my sons know how to speak Spanish because I wasn't taught Spanish growing up, so I learned a lot of it on my own, and I just want to make sure that they know how to do it, or they know how to speak it as well. So for curriculum, and I will link everything in the description box for you guys so you can find it, but these 2 books I got on Amazon. This is going to be read to both of them, and this one's going to be for the older one to fill out. So in here, it's just, they have a few different ones. They have the toddler's handbook, the preschooler's handbook, and then the kindergartner's handbook of Arabic words. And it has I'll just turn to a random page. So it has the Arabic and the English spelling of the word. So that way they could be read too in English and Arabic, so they can get the translations in their head. And then for the 4-year-old, he has writing. So it's just, you know, basic letters, nothing fancy because this is only level 1, so very basic, just writing his letters. And for those of you who don't know, in English, we read left to right, but in Arabic, you read right to left. So instead of starting here and going across, you start here and girl cross, which I think is kind of cool, but I always think other languages other than English are pretty cool. And then so for Spanish homework, there is a curriculum that I want to purchase for them, but I want to wait till they're like a little older so where they can actually appreciate it. So this I printed from my friend Zaira. She's also a homeschooling mom. I will link her Etsy shop down below, but she made these English and Spanish. So there's a weather. You can laminate these or like put them in sheet protectors and stuff, so that way, but there's a pink dinosaur and a blue dinosaur, and if any of you know my kids, you know they're obsessed with dinosaurs, so that's perfect. But it's just so it has Agosto, August, like that kind of thing, and it just has it, so like this you could put in a sheet protector, and then he can just keep practicing it over and over again, days of the week. And then it has like a little calendar in the back with like all the cutouts and stuff that you can put for like the weather, season, today, month, date, year, all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to use these because I feel like, you know, starting from the basics, making sure they really know how to pronounce them and write them and understand them and stuff like that. So I'm using these for now. And then there are some Spanish books and stuff that we'll be renting from the library in order to supplement that. And I play a lot of Spanish music around them, and I know that kids learn from music as well. And that's how I taught myself a lot of Spanish, was listening to music. So that's kind of gonna be like the Spanish curriculum for them for now. Maybe by the time the second half of the school year comes, I'll change my mind and get that curriculum that I want. It's called Beautiful Mundo. I'll link it down below again. And like I said, I might change my mind and get it by the second half of the year. We'll see how they're doing with the printables and the worksheets that I have for them for now, and we'll go from there. So for his reading / writing, he has sight words. So it's 100 sight words and early reading concepts. So again, it's just tracing and reading. I like how big they are, because if any of you guys know, when kids start learning how to write, they write pretty big. So it's just sight words that are alphabetized that he can trace over and learn how to practice that way. And all of these 3 books that I got that I'm going to show you guys, they're all perforated, which is nice because then I can just rip out whatever lessons I want him to do for the day, and then once he completes them, he's done for the day. Because I feel like if you're a 4-year-old and you just see your mom walk in with a stack of workbooks, that could be a little overwhelming. So that's his sight words book. And he also has a reading book from Spectrum. And so it's just like simple, what are the sounds, pick out things in the picture, pick the same kind of letter, like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's very, very simple, but just so he can start. And there's also answer keys in the back too, not that you would need them, but just in case you do, there are answer keys in the back for the parents as well. So we'll make sure that he's doing this for his reading. And then also I made something, I'm not gonna grab it because it has his whole name on it, but I found a website where I can make his own worksheets. So I have it where it has his name printed, and then he can continue practicing his entire name, so that way he can practice all of that as well. And then I also have this math kindergarten for him. And again, it's basic things. So it's like count the number or count the objects and then circle the number. There's matching. There's which numbers are bigger. And then there's very, very basic math. So like 1 + 1 is 2, 3 + 0 is 3, that kind of thing. So again, and it's nice because it has all the lesson numbers at top. So you can do adding and subtracting numbers 1 through 10, and also at the end, they go over 2D and 3D shapes as well. Can't find it at the moment, but so these are some of the shapes that they have. So they have numbers and shape stuff, which is also kind of nice. But yeah, so counting and writing numbers. He's good at his numbers, but I just want him to get better at like writing them. Like he can recognize them, but he doesn't necessarily remember how to write them all, which is fine. So we'll get better at doing that, and then we'll start doing some basic addition and subtraction with him. And then I also got this, it's like, I don't have all the pieces. So it came with like 50 of each bill, and I thought that was a little excessive. And then it has all of these coins as well. I gave them like a few to play with, but I didn't want them to lose them all. But my sons have a clubhouse where they have their pretend kitchen and they make food and stuff, and they like to charge people money for their food. So I got some money, so that way they can start learning how to count and recognize and handle money as well. And I feel like when it comes to anything money skills, it's never too early to start, because they honestly don't learn enough of that. So that's it for like the core subjects for them. So math, reading, writing, their languages. And then we're not really gonna have like a history or a science curriculum, because like I said, they're still really young, so I don't really want to overwhelm them. I don't plan on homeschooling them more than maybe 3 hours with all this stuff, with breaks in between, because like I said, they're still young. You want to make sure that they don't hate learning. You want to make sure that they're having fun learning. So we might do a subject and then take a break, and do another subject and take a break. I'm not sure how the flow will go of it yet, but that's the fun of figuring it out. So for our science, I guess you could say, we are going to be doing nature journaling. So I did go ahead and get them some basic sketch pads. Don't worry, they're nothing fancy, just basic sketchbook. So that way they can draw, they can tape, they can glue, whatever they want to do on the nature walk. They have their little books in order to do it. And then in the back, it does also have a sleeve as well, which is nice if they don't want to glue something down, but they still want to keep it. They can just put it in this pocket, and then we'll be able to take it home. But yeah, so that's kind of going to be like the science curriculum, I guess you could say. And they're still going to have lots of playtime, lots of reading time. That's another reason why I want to get the library card, just to be able to keep reading and let them read new books, because they have 2 bookshelves of books in their room, because they really do like for me to read aloud to them. But you know, mommy can only read those books so many times in a row before they just get boring. You know what I mean? So very excited to continue reading a bunch of books with them. And then another idea for like science is stuff like this. So it's a dino fossil dig kit, and it has a replica of a T-Rex tooth, which, as I stated, my sons are obsessed with dinosaurs. I never thought in my life, I mean, my little brother went through a dinosaur phase, but his obsession with dinosaurs is like nowhere near my son's dinosaurs. Like, he can tell you what they are, where they live, what they ate, how big they were. Like, it's insane, all of the knowledge in his little 4-year-old brain that is about dinosaurs. And also hearing my 2-year-old say Stegosaurus and Triceratops is the cutest freaking thing ever. So I got this for them. It probably won't last until the school year. They might see it and be like, Mommy, we want to do that now. But yeah, so I just thought it was cool that it had a replica T-Rex tooth in it. So it's 3.5 inches long. So it has the brick with the specimen in it, a magnifying glass, a dig tool, and then a learning guide with instructions. So that's going to be like another science curriculum that we'll be doing. It'll just be a bunch of fun stuff like that, anything formal. And with science especially, it's going to be very child driven. So like whatever they're experiencing interests in, that's what we'll pursue. And then go from there, because I feel like it's so much more fun learning about it when you're actually interested in the subject. So that's how I'll be doing that. And that's it, guys, for the curriculum that I've selected this year for my boys for homeschool. I'm actually putting together the classroom right now in the basement. It's gonna kind of be split into 2 areas. So like one area is gonna be the reading nook, and then the other area is going to be the actual classroom. I have most things for it. I just need things like bookcase, shelves, and stuff like that. But once all of that comes together, I'll definitely give you guys a tour of it. if that's something you'd like to see. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.